Okay, we're gonna try this for our second time.
Take two.
Not second time tonight, just second time in general. We tried this Wednesday, last Wednesday, and we went up to our level. Excellence.
Yeah.
So we're back again Monday night, episode 4. This episode is brought to you by Johnny's Pizza. I'm just kidding. We just have some sweet teas.
Love Johnny's Pizza and sweet tea.
And sweet tea. So new stuff in the office for you. Our table, you can check it out. We got a little vinyl put on there, a little wrap, says SH Creative.
Yeah, just don't look real close at it.
Yeah, there's a few lines and bubbles. That's just because we laid it and we're not professionals. But this is from Hal Printing Co. in LaGrange, so if you need some wraps, check them out.
Wraps, any type of printing.
Printing, yeah.
Blue printing.
Hey, so use us to design your printing and then print it there.
Get Hal to print. Yeah.
Churches. It's local, so instead of using Vistaprint, you can get it done local. We got some shelves put up.
Charging station.
Yep. Charging station isn't completely set. Like, I don't know how we're going to do that. But that's where our batteries and cameras will charge.
There's nothing on there now because we're using it.
We're using it. The wood is actually driftwood out of West Point Lake. It's just floating in the lake, and now it's on our wall. Neat stuff.
It's nasty.
Miles, give them an update on churchmotive.com.
So last time we said that Church Motive was going to be out on the 16th, and we were wrong. It
was that December 16th or January?
December.
Okay. Way off.
We were pretty off. And we had like a week or two after that. We finally launched it. Go ahead.
How long ago did we originally say we were going to launch this thing?
Oh.
Like 2017? 2017, 2018?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
We didn't realize how much goes into it.
Yeah.
I forgot to start the timer, so just subtract 2 minutes from that one year.
That sounds good. Yeah, so it's up and running. I mean, you can go get free social media graphics to just encourage, your congregation, just people around you, whatever, on churchmotive.com right now. Or if you're a pastor, bivocational pastor, whatever, youth pastor, there's some sermon series on there that you can just go and purchase. They're real cheap. And we're going to be putting more and more each week on there. So I think that's all I got.
Yeah, a bunch of different packages for you. So if you don't need but a few things, we have a package for that. If you know anything about Photoshop and design and you want to kind of tweak our designs, we have a package that has the Photoshop files. But if you're just looking for a sermon series you like and you want something on the screen for Sundays and something to post on your Facebook, then is it called the basic package, right?
Yeah, it's the basic plus and then the premium.
Yeah, then the basic package would be perfect for you. It's not you don't have to overthink it. I think there's a Facebook cover photo. There's a social media. There's some postcards you can get printed and hand out to people saying thank you for coming.
Maybe at Hal.
Yep. Hey. And so that'd be the perfect package for you. And if you want a little bit more, like verse graphics and stuff, right? That's the next one.
Yeah. That's the basic package is for you already have your sermon prepped, you're ready to go, you just need a graphic with it. And then the plus package is you have an idea, you might not have verses to go with it, so it's kind of we have 8 verses in that package, each of them that kind of go with that subject. So, and then the last one, of course, like you said, was for the Photoshop savvy pastors that want to tweak our design. We don't care, just go ahead and take it.
Well, once you buy it, it's yours.
Yeah,
right?
Once you buy it, it's yours. You can do whatever you want.
And if you have a series you have in mind that it's not on there, there's a contact us page. And you can send it in, and we would love to get to it and put it on the website for you to get you. So we want to work with you to help make this website beneficial for you to help you succeed.
There'll be more. I don't know how soon it's going to be.
Yeah,
but there'll be more things on there other than the sermon series, and they're probably going to be free. What we have in mind, some of the stuff, and some of the stuff, of course,
some resources for you.
Yeah, resources to be able to further the ministry that y'all are doing, and but yeah.
I will say 2 of the series to come. One, like I said, reach out to us. Somebody reached out to us, said they want to do it. So there's a Sermon on the Mount series coming, and one called Abandoned. Those are the next 2 being put up,
and another one called Acts.
Yeah, so if you're in the book of Acts. And some of these series, if you buy one, you can make it last 4 weeks. You can do 6 weeks. If you're doing the whole book of Acts, you can make that graphic last as long as you need before you need to buy a new one. So it's not like you buy it and it only lasts you a couple weeks. This series can go as long as you can come up with titles.
We've seen a pastor
do
a sermon series for over a year. Now, it was a good sermon series. It was in Romans. It was very good, but it lasted a long time. So if you wanted to go like that,
Yeah.
you can do it. Just do it.
That's what Church Motive is here for. We want to help you, just reach as many people as you can for Jesus.
Yeah. We want the church to be successful.
Yeah, we want the church to be successful. We want it to grow. So on episode 3, which was forever ago, we talked about competitive church, kind of how churches help each other, could compete against, not against each other, but help me out, because I don't want to. I know if I say it the wrong way, people are like, well, "What's he talking about?" There's a good kind of competitive and a bad kind of competitive.
Yeah. So basically, there's a team versus team.
Yeah.
Competitive. That's the unfriendly kind, and then the team member versus team member, which is used to build up each other. Kind of push for innovation and push whatever organization. This can be in business or in ministry. We was mainly talking about ministry when we was talking about it. But to move whatever you have going on further. So that's basically what it was. Go listen to it. It was good.
Yeah, it was actually really good. We took a break from our leadership to talk about it, and we'll go back to leadership another week.
Eventually. I mean, if we ever get to Tavares.
Eventually, yeah. We want Tavares to talk some about it.
Hey, let me give a shout out.
Shout out.
Let me give a shout out to Colby. Sorry, it just came on.
Colby Freeman.
I'm going to end up forgetting about it. Colby Freeman. He's the one that suggested the Sermon on the Mount series.
Yeah, that's who we're making it for. So
yeah. We might give it to him for free.
We made Colby, play your cards right. It's free. So on the episode 3, a friend of ours, Jonathan Adams, left a comment, and he was talking about at North Point Ministries, there's a team and team competition. And North Point, if you don't know, is a church in Atlanta, Georgia, Pastor Andy Stanley. And they have other churches under them that aren't, like a lot of times you see a church is like Life Church and it has multiple campuses. There's North Point, and then there's other churches under it that make up North Point Ministries.
Yeah.
And so he talked about how they talk to one another, they help how to improve what they're doing, and they learn and talk to the church in and out, and it helps tremendously. And so he was telling us about that, but then he asked us, he wanted us to talk about the things that you wish you knew or that you need to learn that weren't taught in school or seminary. Now, neither one of us went to seminary. Miles did business, and I did biblical studies and preaching, and then theology. But we did work in a church, and so I guess some things that we wish we would have knew that we didn't learn, that we kind of learned on our own, was a few that were kind of tough to learn on your own, but we came up with some.
I wished I knew these or knew how to
handle
better
them.
Cope. Yeah, handle them. Ooh. Better than I was when I was. Of course, we were young. We were real young, so a lot of these have to do with, I would say, age. Once you get older, of course, these things kind of go away. At least you hope. So you want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So the first one I have is communication. So I wish I learned how to communicate better. Not only, public speaking. We had a bunch of classes for that, and it was great. I still wasn't the best. I get so nervous when I get up on stage. But internal communication, talking to, a coworker or talking up to a pastor, you think is above you and stuff like that, or talking to volunteers. I wish I would have learned better communication that way.
Yeah.
What I think now, the key to better communication now is to kind of over-communicate, over-simplify what you have in mind.
Yeah.
I think that's communication, but not to the point where you make the other person seem like they're dumb or something like that. But over communication and being able to talk to one another and they understand you completely rather than having to ask
especially
so
on
many
a team.
questions.
That's crucial.
Yeah.
Communication is one of my weak points. Katie tells me all the time. But I think mine was like thinking things like, oh, they already know this, or they should know this. And then I didn't communicate, and then it happened. They're like, well, why didn't you tell me that? So like you said, over communicating, letting people know.
It, yeah.
Because I'm guilty of that, thinking people already know something or should already know something. Communication, if you don't think you're good at that, that's probably like a value that you need to work on that will help you a lot in ministry.
A good way to find out if you're good at communication is how often do you get frustrated that people do not understand you. If you get frustrated a lot because people don't understand you, you might have not have communicated the expectations for whatever task or job it was. Now, I'll give. There are some times that a person that you're communicating to
Just don't get it.
they just don't get it. I mean, there is, but a lot of times it is the communication. Just sometimes you got to oversimplify until you reach the point where you don't have to, and the communication becomes natural. So
Yeah, as a leader, a lot of that is on you to make sure, even if you think the people under you, even if you said it to them, you think they should get it, like he said,
or even
tell
people
them
above
again.
you.
Yeah, tell them again. Say it again. Make sure it's clear, because I think if you want to succeed, you gotta make sure everybody is on the same page.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Your second one. Oh, you want me to do mine now?
Yeah.
One of mine that I thought of was saying no, being able to say no. Luckily, a lot of people didn't come to me about stuff in church with my role, because I would just create graphics and then handle the youth ministry. So other than, and the area, and we had a lot of kids come that their parents really weren't involved, so I'd have to worry about parents.
Oh, we just had a visitor.
Yeah, one of our suite mates who I've actually never met.
Sweet mate?
That's what we call suite mates. We're all in suites here. You never heard that phrase?
No.
Asked us if we installed stuff. So
All right.
we're back though
We're back.
for this episode. We were talking about saying no.
Yes.
That's where we were. Yeah, so you don't get burned out, and so you don't just get exhausted and frustrated with people. Saying no is huge. You kind of had to deal with that. Like, people would come to you all the time.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't know what to say.
Yeah, and so sometimes
I wouldn't say no, though. I was bad about it, too.
Yeah, sometimes I'm just like a yes man, or I can be, and I just want to make people happy. But sometimes saying yes and just sucking up and doing it is easier than saying no and having to deal with people complain. But it's probably more healthy to say no. So definitely, if you don't think which comes with conflict, handling conflict, saying no and handle conflict.
Yeah. Do you want to do your next one, or you want me to do it?
You go ahead. We'll take
All right.
turns.
The next one is handling criticism. And some of it was like positive criticism, like constructive criticism. The other was kind of negative, but either way, I took it as negative. And that was me being young and like really holding on to my projects that I did at the church.
Yeah. Taking pride in it.
Yeah, taking very like pride in my projects. And then when somebody comes in and saying, no, you should change this, do this. And a lot of times they were right. Like a lot of times they were right. I should have, changed these things, make them better. And, but I'd still feel, and I would do them, but I'd still feel like hurt inside. Like, man, why didn't I catch that?
Yeah.
Why didn't I see that before? And the way to get past that for me was, one, most of the times it's not going to be a personal hit.
Yeah.
When somebody's trying to critique. Man, that was a really hard word for me just then. When they're trying to critique you, they're not really personally attacking you.
Yeah.
Now, there might be some that are, but most of the time they're not. They want you to succeed and do good. And even if they are meaning it as a personal attack, at least you have another viewpoint, so you can go from there. And so I just I took it as that, as like, it's just another viewpoint that I can't see from mine. So I'm going to take it and look at it all different kinds of ways.
Yeah.
And that was really, and it took time. This one took a lot of time to not really get frustrated with the people or get frustrated with myself.
Yeah.
To, the work that I did.
It's hard to, when people give you feedback on a project. But I think it's so important as a leader, if you want to grow, or in ministry, if you want to grow, or even as a business owner, allowing that feedback. But I would also say with that, now random people are going to give you feedback in the church, whether you want or not, but you definitely need to find those close friends of yours that you trust, and seek them for feedback. Don't just wait for them to give it to you. Ask them, hey, how did this look to you?
Yeah.
Do you think it was this? And let them give you feedback. And don't just shut off, but hear what they're saying and grow from it. And part of that, one of his, goes with what I was going to say, was not getting frustrated when something doesn't work or offended about it. Sometimes you come up, in your head, you come up with this good idea and you think this is going to be great. And then it doesn't work.
Like what we did with SH.
Yeah.
It started great and then it sucked.
It just didn't work.
And then it did not work. And then hopefully it works this time.
Yeah.
We're going to see.
I'm trying to think of anything from the church that we may have thought of that just didn't work. Now, I think this worked, but something that wasn't our smartest idea, one was, remember we did Church on the Street? I think Church on the Street's a great idea. We just did it, I think, July 4th week in the middle of in Georgia. and so it's very hot. I think Church on the Streets would have been great at a different time, but it's things like that where like, this is going to be the best idea ever, and then everybody got on board on the staff, and there wasn't really much input, and I'm sure somebody would have said, hey, don't you think in the middle of July it's a bad idea?
Yeah.
But that learning from mistakes and then dealing with people are some things I think. Dealing with people, we've kind of talked about that with every topic, but learning from your mistakes, don't let them get you upset, but I would say just, try to learn from each one, grow on it, and make the next thing even better.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You have anything on that?
No, I can only think of those two.
Yeah.
Even this is take 2, and I didn't really want to add any more because we only got limited time. So.
Limited time. I think those are some good ones.
Yeah.
I did real quick wanted to put a new segment in here. If you are a reader, you should be a reader. Me and Miles, each week that we do this, one of us will talk about a book, not talk about it, but just recommend a book we've read. Me and Miles both have this book. He just admitted he's never read it.
No, I just like the cover.
Oh, yeah. It's a really good book. It's called Next Generation Leader by Andy Stanley, who is the pastor of North Point Ministries we were talking about earlier. But it's got a lot of great information on leadership. Leadership books are always, I feel like, are very encouraging. There's a bookmark in here, so you made a little progress.
A little bit.
But I'd pick this up. It's probably only like a few bucks on Amazon. It's an older book by him. But great book. I would highly recommend it. Miles will give you a book the next week.
Yeah, stay tuned for Cat in the Hat next week.
Cat in the Hat. Great book.
Yes.
So we all have about 10, however many minutes. It don't matter. We can cut this thing short. I get a lot of questions. I don't know if you do. People say, what does SH do?
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to let Miles for the next couple minutes kind of explain. I know we talked about it in a hurry early on the episode, but just so when people ask, Miles is going to kind of break it down.
Uh-oh. Let me give another shout out.
Go ahead.
To my brother-in-law.
When He's watching, listening?
Yeah, he watches and listens. And every time.
Tell the story about him real quick. What he's famous for.
Yeah.
Tell him. You tell him.
I don't know.
Okay.
Anyways, wait, no, not that brother-in-law. The other.
Oh,
one.
Never mind.
I'm talking about my brother-in-law, Michael. He lives up in Indiana.
Sorry, Michael. I don't have no stories about you.
Oh my gosh. But anyways, every time we do a podcast, he texts me and said, why was there nothing about fishing on this podcast?
Oh, see. Oh, because he's the guy that commented that time.
Yes.
Okay. I do have a story about you, Michael.
During the summer, or it was September, me and him went fishing somewhat, or kayaking down the river in Indiana. I hope this doesn't take up too much time.
No, you're good. You got time.
Anyways, what was supposed to be maybe like a 2-3 hour trip.
Did y'all get stuck? Lost?
Oh my gosh. And we only had a donut and some coffee. I don't even know if I barely had a donut that morning. And we didn't have any water. And it turned out to be, I think it was like 10 hours.
Golly, y'all done went into Bear Grylls mode.
It was so rough. And it was kayaking down a little tiny creek river. And man,
would y'all get lost?
No, we just didn't know the exit point. We thought we did, but we didn't. And but let me give a shout out to him.
Michael, be a fisher of men. That's what Jesus says.
Yes.
There's fishing.
Fishing, yes. But that's basically all.
Yeah, Mike. We'll talk about the other brother-in-law too one day, so I can tell that story. Because everybody's probably like, "What's he famous for?" Another time.
Yeah.
SH.
Oh yeah. So SH Creative Company. The best way to describe it is we create websites that are basically online solutions for either this first one, Church Motive, is for churches. We have some coming up that are mainly for creatives and kind of businesses. And that's basically the gist of it is that we create these online resources for businesses and churches.
And we have over here, there's a board and it has a ton of ideas on it. And basically like on our account, we have I don't know how many domains Miles has done bought of stuff, of ideas.
I think there's at least 15.
Yeah, of just different ideas. So it's like right now we're really focusing on Church Motive and we're getting it off the ground, and then we're gonna manage it, but then on to the next project. Mm-hmm. And so you'll see on our Facebook, you can go to SH Creative, search for us on Facebook. We're putting out all this stuff on there.
Yes, we're wanting this to grow. So we want to. I mean, we're not here looking to become rich and famous.
Yeah.
I mean, we're here to just, like we said earlier, we want to see the church grow, and we want to see other businesses grow.
Mm-hmm.
And we think we've always kind of had this passion of we want to help.
Yeah.
And this is probably the best thing that we could do. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we've thought of other ideas, but we were terrible at them.
Yeah.
But
And so we have that. And then on the side we don't look for clients because dealing with people is
it can be a
hard
struggle
sometimes.
sometimes. Yeah.
But we do help with, I think we're okay at building websites. I think we build some decent. So we've helped some people with that.
Yeah.
And we both have a familiarity. Is that a
just
word?
having a really tough time with words.
I know.
today.
Is that even a word? What I just said?
Yeah.
We're familiar with Adobe stuff, so we do help people with like some logo design and all that. But
Yeah.
mainly we have the online resources. But I think it's just in the name, like creative company,
Mm-hmm.
and our website in big letters says we create. So either we have an idea and we create it, or people come to us asking for help and we create it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of just where we're at. So you can check that out at shcreativeco.com. But like us on Facebook. We're trying to grow that thing. We're going to put out. We're going to start doing some new stuff on there with the podcast and other things. So help us out. Share these podcasts with your pastor or other friends in ministry. We really think, we were talking about this other day, what we zone in on. And we think this podcast is really going to zone in on church stuff. And we want to help, like we said, see the church grow. So share this with people in church.
Yeah. When we first started, I was like, man, this is just going to be a general podcast.
Yeah.
It's going to be real simple. Talking about church stuff, talking about business, talking about this, that, whatever. But it's mainly just church.
Just church. Well, we have a passion for that. So,
Yeah.
But we want to be able to reach pastors of small churches, bivocational pastors, people in ministry, and with these topics. And we want to hear from you. So share it with your friends. You can watch this on YouTube, listen to it on anywhere podcasts are found, or our website, shcreativeco.com.
Yeah. If your pastor or you are a pastor or your pastor wants to come on the podcast, I mean, we'd love to have you.
We want to have some pastors on here.
Talk about different topics, whether it be preparation for Sunday or maybe even something.
Maybe some
theological.
frustrations in the church.
Oh, yeah.
And another thing real quick before we're out, I meant to say this is, if you go to churchmotive.com, it's going to pop up a newsletter. All we're asking for is your email address. We're not going to kill you with emails. I think one a month or something like that.
Yeah.
And all we want to do is send you we'll send you our most recent podcast, most likely some info, some resources. Really want to use that to help you in any way we can. So it's not like you can get a ton of emails every day, but you can sign up with just your email. And when you do, you get a free sermon series.
Right. And I didn't mention this. On some websites, not all of them, like if you're ever wanting something free on a website, any website there is, a lot of times you have to like put in your email, put in your phone number, whatever. On ours, you don't have to. Like the free section where it says graphics, you click it, you see one you like, you just click download, and it'll download it.
Yep. And so it's not just for church people. If you want a Bible verse or something to share on your Facebook or Instagram, we have a ton to choose from. Download it, and you can share it, and it's yours to use.
Yep.
That's it.
I believe that's it.
That's good. Episode 5 will be coming too. We don't know what we're going to talk about yet.
Well, first there's take 3 of this one.
Yeah. Oh gosh. We're about to have us a little business meeting, so we're going to be out.
See ya.